And we're back. Welcome to part 3. Here we go. Number 8. We left off with Honky Tonk Man. Number 8. Oh, this one. Beautiful. I'm so glad somebody did it. And I'm so glad that Jazzwares was able to make this legit as far as the head sculpt. Obviously, I've seen some great customizers since then. I thought about maybe looking for somebody with a short-haired version of him, but every time I see him, they just don't look right. I know it's like they're using Kenny Omega or something like that. So for the time being, I remember I had multiples of these. I remember I got one that was all pink. Then I got one that was in the tire I wanted with the leg singlet, but it didn't have butterfly joints. And I oversight got too excited and didn't see that, so had to go right away. But then I found one that did, and so I have Owen Hart. Now, what's interesting about Owen Hart is I remember back in the day having this figure in bone crunching action form. I remember having a bunch of bone crunching action figure. I remember I just started to upgrade to the Titantron Live. And obviously Titantron Live and bone crunching were two different beasts. They didn't look right. They didn't play together right. So my bone crunching action figures, I didn't have a computer back then to keep data or anything like that, nor did I have the space. So I remember one day my mom was doing a garage sale and I had all my bone crunching action figures out there. Thinking that, they're going to make an Owen here pretty soon. Titantron Live is just coming out. And lo and behold, he dies. He dies, and literally that day before his death, my mother had just sold, because I guess no one bought them at the garage sale, so she took them to the Goodwill. And Sid, Owen, Ahmed, the Godwins, all of my bone crunchers donated to Goodwill, including my ring. And I mean, as an 8-year-old, I kind of kicked myself. I shouldn't have done that. 2, did I jinx that man? I don't know. I know that another story with Steve Irwin, the day that he died, about 10 hours before, I ended up accidentally breaking his Steve Irwin DVD. The movie. I stepped on it by mistake. But it did hurt because obviously we never got Owen for the longest time. We finally did get an Owen in Jazzwares many, many years later. And it's a cool one. But I don't remember him wrestling in Canada. I remember him wrestling in singlets like this. So when this came about, I went, I gotta get this. This one, they used obviously a Bret Hart and then lower leg. I think they actually just used a whole Bret Hart. There is drop down hips to this thing. It is painted. The legs, everything skin tone matches really well. The Owen really matches really well. Until I see another Owen, from Jazzwares with shorter hair or something like that. This one's great. And he's going to go in to this brand here because there's still already 4 guys in that SmackDown brand. All right. Number 35. Okay. Now this one I did not make myself. I don't think I've ever actually used the Brock Lesnar torso. I've been told it's difficult. Maybe I should get a Brock and open up one myself and see how it works out. But for the most part, everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, send me a Brock, I'll do it. And so I do, and they do make them. And they made Don Morocco for me. Now, obviously, we lose the wrist tape because they decided to use the double jointed arms, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I mean, I could have taken, before I sold mine off, I could have probably switched the arms out, but this works just fine. He's bulky, definitely more of Don the Rock Morocco, if anything. And he's going to go right in that brand right there. Again, I didn't build him, so I don't know too much about him. 185. Let's not say I didn't build a lot of these, though. 185. Alrighty. Now this one here, I have attempted to build. I didn't know what I was doing fully. I'm better aware now. So I'm actually going to rebuild this figure into a custom without drop down hips, because when I was posing it and I was doing stuff, I was so annoyed with the drop down hips. Plus, I don't care for the all black attire. Obviously, it's not Stone Cold. He wore nothing but black, but it's Randy Orton. So I have the Elite at home with the red and white kind of clean shininess with the RKO. I think it's like an Elite 80 something. I was going to go with the white, but I did the white one time and it didn't quite mesh up really well. And two, it was wobbly, so I ended up just putting it in the box, sealing it, and selling it for like $40 to somebody, which they were more than happy to buy a custom in-box wobbly Randy Orton. And I told it was wobbly. I don't lie to people. But I did buy another Orton, and what we do with this other Orton is I'm going to take apart the other Orton and that Orton. I'm going to put together, and if it's better than this one's going back up to sell, and that one's coming here. So Orton is going to go into, let's see, I've got 4 there, 5 there because of the tag team. I've got 5 there, I've got 5 there, and I've got 4 here. So he's going to WCW because he needs to fight Kofi Kingston and call him stupid a couple times. Stupid! Alright, next one. Number 6. Another one that I did not build, and another one that someone did a really good job with. I think they used a Funaki head. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was a Funaki head. They did a lot of painting, way more than I could do. I kind of want someone to build, and I mean, if not, I'll find someone to do it for me. A Hakushi. Because I remember watching Hakushi fight Bret Hart. I remember Hakushi vaguely in WWF for a little bit. But in the meantime, I was looking for WCW guys. I came across the Great Muta. And obviously they used it wasn't Shinsuke. They used I think a Shawn Michaels referee. Possibly Jeff Hardy. No? I don't know what they used. They painted, obviously. That's all paint work. The face is all paint work. Beautiful figure. There's definitely some I have some love for the Japanese wrestling figures out there. I mean, Great Muta would be cool. I built a Yoshitatsu you'll see here shortly, probably, maybe in this video or down the line. So Hakushi, definitely I want to have, seeing that one can be done, I think someone can easily build a Hakushi. I'm not going to try to build it. I might send the parts off and just be like, hey, someone dab this thing up, put the paint on there. Put the decals on there. Pay for the decal work. I think with the customers I usually make, I go with. I usually send the parts like Bull Buchanan. I sent the parts. X-Pac sent the parts. I didn't attach the X-Pac. I said, here, use it to paint to make him look like his X Factor look, because I didn't really want I didn't want just the standard DX version. I want the more heel light heavyweight champion run look, because I have a light heavyweight title. Which, another great customizer, Koa Wrestling, Chaos Wrestling belts. Beautiful. Beautiful belts. Very happy with it. After countless times asking Mattel, why can't you make the light heavyweight title? Why won't you make the light heavyweight title? And just being ignored, I said, screw it. I went to a customizer. Same guy who built half the belts. Of course, Forbidden Figurines has great belts too. I have a few of his. Which are in here as well. So I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just not saying one's better than the other. Only go with one. Go with what your heart tells you. The only difference is with Forbidden Figurines is he doesn't do made to order belts. He just kind of does like an offering once a month, and you jump in on it or you lose out. This guy has a whole catalog, and his prices are very affordable. So keep that in mind. Number 194. That's if you want belts. If you don't want belts, then no. Alright, now this one here, obviously you can get a version of him through Coliseum Collection. I personally have a few of him to build other people. One being I'm building Garrison Cade, or Lance Cade, if you know who that was. And I used my other one, I do believe at the time, to build somebody else. Oh, there he is. But somebody built him. They said the legs were wobbly, so I switched the boots out on him. That's all I pretty much did on him. But I made ECW. Terry Funk. Oh, Cactus, I think you should fight on top of the sale. So, of course, Terry unfortunately passed away last year. Great figure. I didn't really remember him wrestling back in the... I didn't watch, I was like 3 in the 80s, so... I don't remember watching him, obviously, when he was in trunks, but I do remember him in this attire. Vaguely in WWF and also in some ECW stuff. Now, what brand was he a part of? What part is he? Okay, so we got done at WCW. We just got Great Moon in WWF. We're going to put Terry over here in this brand. All right. So, our first of 2 rounds is almost done. We got a few more to go. And we've actually got... Yeah, because we have Ludwig over there, as well as Giovanni. So there's the 4 there. So I think one more guy in that brand as well. And then, of course, we have the Bloodline. By, not by choice, by just random occurrence. 109. Oh, already been taken. Oh, Ludwig Kaiser's gone too, because he's part of that. And Giovanni's also part of that. So yeah, those guys are all gone. Okay. So that didn't work. Let's try another one. 111. Okay. That's gone too. This is where I hate the generator sometimes. 201. Did we already do 201? I said no repeats, and yet it just doesn't listen. 20. Okay, let's see if we have 20 done. 20. Okay, we do not have 20. Now this one actually almost became Lance Cade. I sent him away. I still have the made in the USA Lex Luger custom. But I didn't like the way the arms looked on it. I didn't like the way the whole presentation looked on it. Nothing against the guy who tried building it. It just didn't look good. The parts are just not right for him right now. So what I did was I originally sent it off. I contacted my, one of my customizers. I said, "Hey, did you do anything with that Luger yet?" He goes, No, I didn't do anything. I was like, "Okay, cool." He said, "Do you want me to do anything? Do you want me to put any decals? Do you want me to do anything like that?" I said, No, just send him back. Send him back with the next group of people, because I like him as this. The total, Lex Luger, not necessarily, the total package, then, when we just called the total package. But I thought this is a great WCW World Champion run, mid-96, 97 look. He doesn't have the Millennial Man icon, doesn't have that weird music. He doesn't see himself having a funeral at his own funeral. This is perfect. So, and again, I found this one on eBay. They painted the boots white to have that kickback. I mean, obviously you could probably change it nowadays. I personally would just probably went with some regular elite white boots, called it good. I don't need the toe articulation on everybody. And he's going to go into the NXT roster. So we got Steiner and Luger. Okay, that'll be interesting. There'll be some good matches, good main events possibly. Again, the everything's done at random. It's all by dice roll. So who knows who's going to end up with champions? Who knows who's going to be, the top guy? All right, time for ECW. 85. All right, this guy. Now this one I did build myself. And I built this one because my ECW roster was kind of lacking a little bit, and happenstance, he got drafted in the ECW roster. John Morrison. Now, you're probably thinking, well, he's not super ripped like he should be. You probably should have used the Rick Rude torso, and you're probably right. Looking back, I probably should have done that. At the time, I didn't have an available one. I had Macho Man torsos, a couple of them, and skin tone matches perfectly for it. So... Morrison, as he's getting older and whatnot, he's not having that super rippedness as much. I know that the guy was kind of depressed after he got released from WWE again, which is, it's a shame because he's a really good wrestler. I don't know why they decided not to keep him around, but I guess he's over in AEW now doing some stuff. But, he might show back up again. I always thought him and The Miz did really good. I always thought they should have had him come back and like feud with The Miz or something. And he's got great moves. It's just for whatever reason he's not that good on the mic, or they just don't want to see him as a world champion caliber guy. Not everybody can be world champion in this day and age. I mean, not everybody was world champion back in the old days either. But I enjoy it. It's great for the ECW roster. He was former ECW champion. 154. Time for the next round of people here. Now this one, if you follow my channel, I just did a great detailed video on this one. Some people probably look at me like I'm pure crazy, because why would you do this to this figure? I mean, why? I didn't destroy the figure. I mean, I did strip the legs off him. I did strip the arm. I did take the head off him, but the torso is still there. But at the same time, why would you take a clearly super expensive figure to make him into an ultimate? Because I can. And I made Ultimate King Kong Bundy. It's Andre the Giant torso, legs carefully taken off. Luckily, big men are on ball joints. Took the legs. I actually used an earthquake, the legs, because the original King Kong has staining from the singlet and the packaging. Used his arms. You can still see a little bit of stain from the arm, from the singlet when it was in the package. This figure goes for a lot, especially if you had the T-shirt, which I sold the T-shirt separately off because I didn't care for it. So obviously resale value, even as a custom ultimate, being that it's an original King Kong Bundy Mattel head and arms and all that stuff. It's not the Jakks anything. Whether I have a kid or not, when my time is up on this earth, if they decide they don't want these around, this thing will go for some money on eBay. So I mean, I'm definitely gonna, if I have a kid, I'm like, hey, look, if you don't like my stuff, you want all my toy collection, you want all my stuff, all this stuff on the wall gone, do your research, sell it proper, use the money to buy yourself a house or do something with your life. If something was to happen to me beforehand, when I'm older, if I live to be past 50, I'll probably start selling these things off, because you can't take it with you when you die. I'm not going to have these in the coffin with me. I'm not even, anything like that. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can. I'm going to build it while I can. I'm happy with it. No paint needed. It was just entirely just looking at body parts and going, if I switch out Andre's legs. So I bought some Andre's, and it's worked wonders. You'll see another person here in the future. King Kong Bundy is going to the ECW roster. All right, next one. 42. This is going to take some time, isn't it? I just realized how late it was. But we'll get through it. Alright, so this next guy, I don't have to show you because he's currently in limbo. He's fully paid off. I hope to see him. Ahmed Johnson. So, he was going to go over to the NXT roster. 184. Which honestly, I think if NXT around, he might have been able to do some more, but he got injured so much. 184. Thanks, Denver Generator, for doing the same stuff again. Here we go. Okay, this person, despised, hated. I only bought one of his figures. Looking back, I probably should have bought a few just in case it does break, but also at the same time, you can build another one now because he has an Elite come out. And I'm sure he'll have something in the future. Not a fan. I will give him some credit. He can wrestle. He can do the spots. He's done really good with himself. And he's a rightful middleweight champion of the U.S., Logan Paul. That's about as much time I've spent on that. He's going to this brand here with Edge and Terry Funk. Maybe Terry will just pile drive and kick his ass. One of the two. All right. Next guy. 159. This guy's not been built yet. He's in Elite form. And he was supposed to show up with me to go into the Elite for now, but then I realized I have the parts. I might as well keep him at the workshop, build him, bring him over next time. I'm building Jimmy Wang Yang, an ultimate Jimmy Wang Yang. So I've got the pants, I've got the torso. He even has his. I'm waiting on the white singlet to show up, or the white wife beater singlet to show up, or whatever it is. Not singlet, but wife beater shirt to show up, because my other one showed up, but that's for my Simon Dean. So he'll be up very shortly. And my Simon Dean stuff arrived. My Velveteen Dream showed up as well. The parts I needed to build Simon Dean, you'll see him in the future. Alright, that's easy. And he was going to go over to the WWF brand. The next person going to WCW is 164. This person also being built, not here yet. The parts have arrived. Rico. I've built a Rico, or I'm building a Rico, and he'll go to WCW. 101. Man, I'm just hitting all sorts of no one to show you. Well, this person is built, but he's not quite done yet. The T-shirt's missing to cover up the tattoos, so that way it doesn't, because he has his full sleeved arms, but you can't have his body, his shoulder tats, because they don't make Ultimate in that tattoo style, and he doesn't have any of his tats on his chest because they don't have, again, they don't have an Ultimate style torso for that, and I don't have the decals for that. So instead, I decided to go with a rare T-shirt over entirely, covering the shoulders. You won't notice the difference, but Godfather will be showing up shortly. I mean, you'll notice it, but you won't be able to tell because the T-shirt covers the tattoos. 131, all right. And it just continues. It just continues again. Greg Valentine, on his way here any day now. 207. Hopefully we get some more people to show you here pretty soon. This one's turning out to a pretty bad one here. 207. Okay, well. Alright, so this person, not custom, but been used a few times to build customs. George the Animal Steel. So, George is going to go to Japan. Yes, in Japan, because the other one's already accounted for. We'll square it up here in a second. 168. Alright, this person you can get fairly cheap in his WCW look, but I'm a sucker for the WWE look. And so I thought about building my own, and then I saw someone already built one, and I decided, you know what, let's save those parts for somebody else. It works, it's beautiful. WWE Tire, Bill Goldberg. The only thing I thought about doing is maybe taking this arm off, putting the other arm with the tattoo on there, so that way it's more of his WWE look. But then looking at the tattoo wasn't even finished properly. So he's going to go over here to deal with Benoit and Sabu. So yikes, that brand's about to get destroyed. Alright. 4. Number 4. Now we're getting to some people who are here to show. 4. Alright, now I thought about coming back and doing this, changing this one up again, but then I realized that the other version has a tattoo, and none of the Mr. T bodies have tattoos, and it goes into his shoulder, so it would look stupid because you'd be missing half of it. So instead, we've got Shelton Benjamin. This is, of course, from that Ruthless Aggression. Shelton's no longer with the company anymore, so this is the best you can do if you want a authentic Shelton Ultimate. Is, you can like I said, you can throw it in the gold standard, you can throw it into the other attire, the modern one, but he'd be missing the tattoo, or you'd have missing part of the tattoo. He didn't have the tattoo when he was in this attire, in this look. So I'd go with this if you want an authentic looking Shelton. I didn't build that one either. So 135. Okay, see, I have all those 130s and yet 199. Okay. This one. Okay. Now you can get this person not too difficult. You can get this person in his DX attire. You can get him. You can get him without butterfly joints, but I wanted butterfly joints. Now, when I got him, the dude didn't tell me that he had silly puttied his head on. So when I went to switch the head out, it was completely, the peg had broken. Obviously, he just so I just ended up gluing the head in there. Pretty much all I did, and switched out the elbow pads. Just gave myself a makeshift Attitude Era Triple H. He's going to join Mr. Ass. Now, SmackDown has 4 guys, now they're going to have 5. 198. Alright. Now, this person I hope they do something with. I'm sure they will. They've already done the 90s version. They've already done his ministry attire. They're even doing a re-release of the ministry attire because the Bray Wyatt situation. So, without further ado, it's Undertaker. Personally, I would like to see the singlet attire with like the winged devil skull or whatever it is, or even just his emblem, the singlet look from maybe like 90s, from 06 when he was a champion, or when he was fighting Kurt Angle for the belt, or when he was champion in 2010. I'd be cool with that look. Obviously retool him a little bit. The singlet I think would be sick. What's nice about this one though is it does make a great Big Boss Man custom torso, because the butterfly joints are all in black. So taking the arms out, you can put in Bray Wyatt arms, or you can put in other arms that are all black, and then of course take this piece off, put the vest over, put the head on there, switch out the legs to a shorter leg. Obviously Bossman was not Undertaker height. And what's cool is he's going to be in the brand with Sid Vicious, or Psycho Sid. So WrestleMania 13 main event, who knows? Till next time. Wait, was that only 1 round? No, it was 2 rounds. It went by quicker because we didn't have anything to show for it. So that was part 3. Check back for part 4 as we continue this crazy draft.